channel gets its name from my full initials. Basically, this channel is going to serve as a place for my gaming videos with commentary, discussions of history, science topics, and other sorts of areas of interest. I enjoy all sorts of academic type discussions, and I may get into current events, politics, maybe. At the very least, with the ground rules of you've got to bring a reasoned argument with evidence. I've got background in political science, so maybe rather than talking current politics and events, I might rather talk about political theory or practice. But for the most part, I want to leave that aside. Gaming's where I'm going to start. And let's get this rocket in the air. I'm using Realism Overhaul with the FASA rockets pack. This is a Juno 1 launching the Explorer 1, America's first satellite to orbit. Explorer 1 launched roughly 4 months after Sputnik 1. Sputnik launched in October of 1957, Explorer in February of 1958. The first stage is a derivative of the Redstone rocket using iodine and liquid oxygen. Gives somewhat improved performance over the kerosene LOX combination. Redstone and its derivatives are von Braun designs, and similar to the A4 or V2 rockets, it's got vectoring control by thrust vectoring vanes down at the bottom there, rather than a gimbal mechanism built into the engine. That was a little more advanced for the period. It's not using any verniers for control either. So I have plans to start graduate school soon and pursue an advanced degree in history of science and technology. So that'll be a major theme that I'll want to talk about on the channel. Let's point this horizontal level. So I really appreciate this rocket and this satellite because it carried a comprehensive scientific package for an early satellite, including temperature sensor, Geiger counter, and micrometeorite environment detectors in an extremely small package. So it was a light payload mounted onto a much smaller missile than what was used to carry Sputnik into orbit, and it returned a significant amount of data. So while America might have been behind in getting any payload to orbit, I think it may have been ahead in terms of miniaturization and the use of smaller rockets to handle small payloads. The R-7 rocket that launched Sputnik was actually a rather powerful device, so that you can add stages on top of it, and the first stage or stage and a half design, where it's got the fall away side boosters, can support the added weight of additional stages and use those to boost heavier and heavier payloads to orbit, so that the R-7 that carried the Sputnik satellite, which wasn't particularly heavy, into orbit, was also used to carry the Vostok manned spacecraft into orbit. So, very large range in terms of the capacity of what that booster could bring to orbit. And even today, the R-7 serves, or a derivative family from the R-7, but in many ways the same design, serves as the principal launch platform for Russian space program. So the first stage of the Juno rocket came out of Redstone Army. I believe this bucket of solid rocket motors with the 11 surrounding a group of 3 with one on top. They're baby Sergeant rockets. I believe that was derived from JPL. Now, I think this is pretty close to the actual orbit of the Explorer 1, although I believe its periaps was a bit higher. So, often what's pointed out as a major accomplishment of Explorer 1 is the discovery of the Van Allen belts, but the precise details there are that the Geiger counter became saturated as it passed through the lower Van Allen belt, I believe, at 2,000 kilometers roughly. At other times, it gave back a normal count of the radiation. When it was saturated, it gave back no count. It was essentially no data. But the fact that they could judge over many orbits that there was this period it passed through where the Geiger counter was behaving differently was a clue to the possibility of something like the Van Allen belt, and then a later Explorer launch with the Geiger counter fully equipped to record the data with a tape system, then provided the conclusive data to show the existence of radiation belts around the Earth. So let's take a look at our orbit. (2,000 kilometers up). Let's warp up to the apoapsis, appreciate the view, and then bring this video to a close. And here we are, passing up towards the Terminator onto the night side of Earth. I guess I don't have city lights on, or no, that would be the Indian Ocean. I do have city lights on, there just aren't any cities over there. Lovely view of Madagascar. Thank you for watching this video. I don't know if I said before, but I plan on doing a Realism Overhaul series using the Realistic Progression mod. Once I feel that things have settled down enough so that I can start a campaign and get pretty far into it. So, thanks again, and I hope to see you back here. Have a nice day.